Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan, and on this video I'll be talking about what the USFL should do for the next 2023 season. Watch until the end to find out. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's get into the video. The USFL is committed to a second season in 2023. And the director of operations for the USFL had a couple of interesting things to say about if there would be a second year for the USFL in 2023. From what Adkins has heard, the USFL has committed to a second season in 2023. There has been no official announcement about next year, and no decision has been made on whether all 8 teams will play again in one city or split equally among 2 markets, as well as the possibility of selling individual franchises. Those decisions could be made over the offseason, I suspect. The biggest complaint from casual fans is watching the game with no fans in the stands, and I agree with that. To me, I absolutely think, in my opinion, that the USFL should try and get their teams to play in their home markets, or at least if not in their home cities, then have them play in 2 split equally among 2 different markets. They don't have to go to their home markets in the next season in 2023, but at least they should do it as soon as possible. Should the USFL add more teams in the 2023 season, or should they just wait a little bit longer? I think that the main plan should be to focus on the current teams in the USFL and get them into their home cities by the 2023 season and no later than the 2024 season. But if they decide to add more teams within the next several seasons, these are the teams that I think should be on that list. The San Antonio Gunslingers. The original San Antonio Gunslingers were founded in 1983 and lasted until they folded in 1985. They played 2 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 12 wins and 24 losses. In the 2 seasons that they did play in, they never made the playoffs once, and their best record was 7 wins and 11 losses in the 1984 season. The last pro football team that San Antonio had was the Commanders back in 2019, and they played in the AAF, and that league ceased operations on April 17th. San Antonio only has one professional sports team currently, and that is the Spurs from the NBA. It would be nice to have a pro football team in the city of San Antonio, but the XFL will beat them to it first, because a report came out that they will be adding a team in the great city of San Antonio for the 2023 season. So in my opinion, I think that the USFL should hold off on expanding to San Antonio right now. But if they are okay having a team in the same city as the XFL, then they should think about it for the near future. The Jacksonville Bulls. The Jacksonville Bulls were part of the original USFL during its final 2 seasons, 1984 and 1985, and were established in 1983. They played 2 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 15 wins and 21 losses. In the 2 seasons that they did play in, they never made the playoffs once, and their best record was 9 wins and 9 losses in the 1985 season. The city of Jacksonville, Florida is home to one major league professional sports team, naming the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL, and the city has several minor league teams. Many experts believe that had it not been for the Jacksonville Bulls' success, the NFL would have not have considered awarding the city the Jacksonville Jaguars in 1995. Football is by far the most popular sport in the Jacksonville area. So in my opinion, I think that the Jacksonville Bulls would be a tremendous team to bring back for a future expansion. The Chicago Blitz. The Chicago Blitz were founded in 1982 and lasted until they folded in 1984. They played 2 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 17 wins and 20 losses. In the 2 seasons that they did play in, they made the playoffs once in 1983, and their best record was 12 wins and 6 losses in the 1983 season. Chicago has 7 professional sports teams in the city, naming the Chicago Bears from the NFL, 2 teams from MLB naming the Cubs and the White Sox, the Blackhawks from the NHL, the Bulls from the NBA, and the Fire from MLS, and the Sky from the WNBA. Chicago hasn't had a spring football team since the original XFL from 2001. In my opinion, I think that this team should absolutely be on the list for a potential expansion for the 2023 season or for the near future. The Memphis Showboats. The original Memphis Showboats were founded in 1983 as an expansion team and lasted until they folded in 1986. They played 2 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 19 wins and 19 losses. In the 2 seasons that they did play in, they made the playoffs once in 1985, and their best record was 11 wins and 7 losses in the 1985 season. The city of Memphis has only one of the 4 big major sports leagues in the city, and the team is the Grizzlies from the NBA. Memphis had 2 spring football teams in 2001 from the original USFL, and the other team was from the Alliance of American Football in 2019. Despite the eventual failure of the USFL, the success of the Showboats franchise was noticed by the NFL, indicating a valuable market in Tennessee. In 1997, the Houston Oilers franchise would move to Nashville, though they played their first season in Memphis, before moving to Nashville and being renamed the Tennessee Titans. So in my opinion, I think that the Memphis Showboats would be a tremendous team to bring back for a future expansion either in 2023 or in the near future. The Arizona Wranglers. The original Arizona Wranglers were founded in 1982 until they merged with the Oklahoma Outlaws and became the Arizona Outlaws. They folded in 1986. In the 2 seasons that the Arizona Wranglers existed, they had an overall record of 16 wins and 23 losses. In those 2 seasons that they did play in, they made the playoffs once in 1984, and their best record was 10 wins and 8 losses in the 1984 season. The state of Arizona has 4 major professional sports teams, naming the Arizona Cardinals from the NFL, the Phoenix Suns from the NBA, the Arizona Diamondbacks from MLB, the Coyotes from the NHL, and they also have the Phoenix Mercury from the WNBA. The last spring football team that the state of Arizona had was the Arizona Hotshots from the Alliance of American Football. So in my opinion, I think that the Arizona Wranglers should be an expansion team in the future and should definitely be on the list to bring back. The Denver Gold. The original Denver Gold were founded in 1982 and lasted until they folded in 1985. They played 2 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 27 wins and 28 losses. In the 2 seasons that they did play in, they made the playoffs once in 1985, and their best record was 11 wins and 7 losses in the 1985 season. Denver is the smallest of the 13 U.S. cities with teams from the 4 major sports. They have teams from the NFL, naming the Broncos, the Rockies from MLB, the Avalanche from the NHL, the Nuggets from the NBA, and they also have the Rapids from MLS. The city of Denver hasn't had a spring football team since the Denver Gold folded in 1985. So in my opinion, I think that the city of Denver should get the Denver Gold back in the next USFL expansion whenever that happens in the future. The Los Angeles Express. The Los Angeles Express were originally founded in 1982 and lasted until they folded in 1985. They played in all 3 of the USFL seasons played between 1983 and 1985, and their overall record was 22 wins and 34 losses. In those 3 seasons that they did play in, they made the playoffs once in the 1984 campaign, and their best record was 10 wins and 8 losses in the same season. The city of Los Angeles has 14 professional sports teams, and that includes 2 NFL teams naming the Chargers and the Rams, 2 MLB teams naming the Dodgers and the Angels, 2 NHL teams naming the Ducks and the Kings, 2 NBA teams naming the Lakers and the Clippers, 1 WNBA franchise naming the Sparks. And they also have 3 soccer teams, 2 in MLS, naming Los Angeles FC and the LA Galaxy and the Angel City FC from the NWSL. The Los Angeles Express had a Hall of Fame player named Steve Young as their quarterback from 1984 to 1985. So my opinion is that this would be a great idea to bring this team back to the city of Los Angeles in the next expansion whenever that happens. The Oakland Invaders. The Oakland Invaders were originally founded in 1977. They can be traced to when they played in the California Football League as the Twin City Cougars, and won 4 league championships from 1979 to 1982. Oakland was without a football team when the Oakland Raiders relocated to Los Angeles before the 1982 NFL season. The Invaders stepped in to fill in the void until they folded in 1985. They played 3 seasons in the league, and their overall record was 31 wins and 26 losses and 1 tie. They made the playoffs 2 out of 3 seasons and made the final USFL championship game in 1985 and lost to the Baltimore Stars. The Raiders moved back to Oakland in 1995, and then they relocated to Las Vegas on January 22nd of 2020. Now the city of Oakland has only 1 professional sports team left, and that's the Oakland Athletics. So, in my opinion, I absolutely think that this would be a great team name to bring back, and it would be nice to have a team back in the city of Oakland the next USFL expansion whenever that happens. What do you guys think? Should the USFL add more teams in the next season? Join me in the comment section down below and tell me what you guys think. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of all new videos in the future. Make sure you share this video with friends and family. Please get this video out there. My name's Nathan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to just keep loving sports. I'll see you next time.